Bring that ass to the smoke pit.
We back, you stupid idiots.
Wow, is this really how we want to start season 3?
Fuck it. Y'all want our voices? Here the fuck they are. And AJ's here too, so suck it.
All right then. Yeah, for those of you watching on YouTube, we're wearing body armor.
We are.
This was AJ's idea.
1,000%.
Well, that's because we're filming from our new studio in an undisclosed basement.
It's
And
true.
AJ has a lot of enemies,
He does.
particularly heavy set ones.
It's not so much that I have a lot of enemies. I just have a lot of not friends.
Oh, a lot of heavy set, not friends.
They're not all heavy set.
A lot of them.
If they were
A
heavy
lot
set,
of
I
them
wouldn't worry
are.
about. If they were heavy set, I wouldn't worry about the body armor because I could just outrun them with a brisk walk.
Well, you want to give them a fighting chance by adding extra poundage to yourself, so that's fair.
Yeah. So for those of you who don't know, AJ is probably my oldest friend, and he's been on a few episodes before. You can check that out. Absolute Shit Show. That was one. Fantastic, and just like from the bottom of my heart, he is a really good dude. He's got a lot of combat experience. He did a lot in the Marines, a lot with the State Department, and he's just like honestly like one of the kindest people I know. Like seriously, like from the bottom of his heart, like he doesn't have a shallow bone in his body. If you've seen some of the women
I know
that
it.
brought home,
I knew that this was gonna be just his segue into talking shit to me.
That Dan was going to praise you as his friend? Let him finish. Go ahead,
That's
Dan.
the thing. No, there's no way he would verbally state that in public to other people without there being a however.
Yeah. Well,
there's no however. I'm just saying that you don't have a judgmental bone in your body.
Are you kidding me?
nope.
I'm a miserable curmudgeon. Like, all of my bones are judgmental. That's why they creak so much.
This guy would go down on an old shoe outside of a gas station. He would go down on anything.
I've seen him do it.
I was going to wait for this, but you driven me to it.
So as he's like, violently chugging.
He just for those just listening, he literally just corked a thing of whiskey and he's just chugging it.
Made it about halfway
Jesus
through.
Christ! Why? Who are you trying to impress?
Impressed? No. Drown out
What the hell was that?
the faces of all my dead enemies.
Okay, Jesus.
So that being said, Mike, where the hell have you been?
Oh, just pooping and scooting around the world. Visit the old Middle Beast a little bit. Now I'm back and here looking at you guys.
Oh, fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
You're looking well.
Thanks, buddy.
Actually, you do look a little pale.
Well, I contracted a virus named after a light beer, so I felt better.
Yeah. I touched his forehead and he was a bit warm.
Yeah, no, I don't feel well.
So if we die of the coronavirus, then say la vie.
You're welcome.
Okay, so we asked the fans what they wanted out of season 3.
Hey, you know what you haven't done?
What's that?
You haven't done the title. You haven't done the opening.
I said welcome to the smoke pit.
No.
I did.
No, you didn't.
Okay. Welcome to the smoke pit.
Hey.
There it is.
I just want to do that. Jesus Christ.
Yeah. So we asked the fans what they wanted to see in season 3. First response, dad ass.
That's fair. Is anybody going to show their ass to YouTube right now?
No, thank you.
Okay, fair.
More drunk AJ, more cream pies.
Well, just to
Already halfway
go
there.
back to that second one, yeah.
AJ paired with copious amount of Jameson.
What the fuck?
Co-host Mike's first sexual endeavor.
My first one?
Yeah.
Okay, fair enough. You want to see it?
I don't know if we can really legally tell that story.
Yeah, I don't think so, no.
I think Miss Robinson still has that restraining order out.
More drunken stories.
Yeah.
Cream pies everywhere. Cream pies. Heart-shaped kisses. More bad decisions from AJ.
All my
Drunken AJ.
decisions are
I've noticed
excellent
there's not
decisions.
anything about you, Dan.
More shitting on AJ.
Dan just wrote all these.
I wish, man. And
all my decisions are good decisions. It's the consequences that are bad.
Ooh.
cream pie. Strike force in my butthole.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Use that discount code SMOKEPIT to save yourself some money on Strike Force Energy.
To put in your drinks, not your butthole.
In your butthole.
Or your butthole. Who cares?
Exclusively your butthole.
You know what?
Medically speaking.
Yeah.
Medically
You're the
speaking.
medic here, not me.
They would absorb that strike force a lot faster through their intestinal tract.
Well, right.
That's not an endorsement, simply a medical fact.
AJ comes back for one
Endorsed by our
episode,
team
see,
medic.
We get dropped by a sponsor.
Let's see here. Sexual, spiritual, and physical enlightenment.
Oh, I got you, bro.
Yeah,
Or girl. I don't know. I can't see.
Another leadership mini episode. Okay,
Ooh,
we
nice.
can do that.
Okay, fair.
More shitting on AJ.
Oh, for sure.
Oh boy.
I think you read the same one twice.
No.
More new guests and old guests such as Lindsay, AJ, and etc. Also, Mista Y.
Oh, that was solid.
If you missed that episode, you missed out.
I actually had a Mista Y moment in the airport with the coronavirus, oddly enough.
Yeah.
Well, it's just he just kind of had the same inflection. He was of Middle Eastern descent. I don't know what his actual race was, but we're sitting on one of our connecting layovers, and he came up in one of those little hospital masks everybody's wearing now because they're traveling, and he like sat across from me and one of my traveling buddies, and he's like macaroon, just threw his mask, and I was like, yeah, no thank you. And of course my travel buddy's like, macaroons, don't mind if I do. So now he's dead, but that was the Mr. White. He's just like, macaroons, like, no thank you, murderer.
Well, that being said, where's the Mr. Y?
That was it. It was just the inflection. It was just kind of like Mista, macaroon.
That sounded a lot more like the start of 12 Monkeys than it did like the Mr. Y story.
That was a solid reference. It's fair. I haven't seen 12 Monkeys in like 12 years, so.
Yeah, it's been a while.
Yeah.
Yeah, but like I said, AJ, really good guy. Just the kindest soul.
Just ramping it up.
I'm
so
excited.
I'll kick it over to AJ because he has thoughts on things.
Nice.
I have a lot of thoughts on a lot of things, Daniel.
Let's
Let's be
hear it.
more specific.
Okay, so what's on the top of your mind right now? All right, so why he is greasing the steam-powered engine that is his old man mind.
Wow.
I will talk about a little bit of frustration that I had.
Oh, okay.
So the program that we're using to record and edit this off the podcast basically had an update that fucked us over, and that isn't
I'm
condition
listening.
one.
I figured as much. So don't put it to my mouth and pull the trigger.
More specifically, don't shoot me anywhere where I'm not wearing soft armor.
This is why we're wearing armor.
And,
Go ahead.
yeah, so it was a big update that really fucked over our recording software, and so I had to scramble to find all this new shit, and it was just like I'm like a toddler.
This is not in condition 1, you liar.
What's that?
This is not in condition 1.
Okay, so I'm like a toddler with technology, and I was looking up how to do it, and it was just like the both of you with a condom, just confusion and contempt.
Yep, that's true.
Don't mistake a desire to not use one
For confusion.
as confusion for not knowing how. All right, Mrs. Skelton in the 6th grade showed me exactly how they're supposed to work.
Oh my!
Oh, wow.
With the rest of the class.
I was
you
about to
perv.
say, yeah.
Oh, yeah,
You and your
right.
weird extracurriculars.
So I have the technical knowledge. I just don't use it because, I don't know, I'm Catholic or something. And I'm not, but I figured
Rude,
that'd
but
be a good
okay.
reason.
No, it's not just like that. Like my dumbass has a lot of problems with technology. I think we were in Vegas for the Burbis out there, and I was just like, man, I'm kind of hungry, and so I fucking hop on DoorDash and I go to order some food, and I completely forgot to change my address. And so like 30 minutes later, I get a phone call like, "Hey, I'm outside of your house.
Yeah.
Like, are you here?" And I'm like, "Fuck me!" Like I was like, "Just leave it on the doorstep, man." Like,
Yeah.
I enjoyed a free bag of Taco Bell, and this is the first I've figured out why.
I like how
I just thought people were being kind to me for once. I should have known better.
you just ate an unidentified bag of Taco Bell on your porch.
Clearly.
Okay, fair enough.
It's not unidentified. They're in Taco Bell wrappers, okay? If it's my time to go, it's my time to go. But I'm not passing up a free quesadilla.
That's fair.
I was just saying, with all the lady troubles that you have, is it really wise to eat food that you didn't prepare yourself? That was just left on your
It's
doorstep
true. You could be poisoned at any minute.
at any moment
Listen to him. He's dying.
from the fucking Taco Bell.
From the Taco Bell, yes.
Yeah, so that hopefully this episode sounds good,
Yeah.
and if it doesn't, you can blame our sponsor, Combat Comb Over. Pomade and beard oil, stuff to make you look good, make you smell good. You can check it out on combatcombover.com. Use our discount code SMOKEPIT. And I know a lot of you are mad about the new discount code, but you can blame Mike for that.
Well, I mean, don't blame me, but people did complain. Person did complain.
No,
Okay.
to be fair, you are in a monogamous, committed relationship.
Right.
And is it fair to like paint you as this like sex god all the time?
Yes.
I mean, you're sitting here shirtless, but I mean, besides that,
I mean, yeah, no, 100%.
And we all know that by far and away, AJ has cream pied way more fucking girls this year than you have.
This year, yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
Yeah.
this year. Put that qualifier on it.
Yeah.
That is erroneous.
These charges are erroneous.
That is erroneous.
No. See, before you know it, you'll be in a committed relationship like young Michael and I,
Mm-hmm.
who, surprisingly enough, both of us met our girlfriends through the podcast.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah. So, ladies, slide in the DMs. It works. Yeah,
Well,
so hit up your boy AJ.
You dingus.
He's like, monogamy, that's not for me.
Exactly.
No,
I can't even spell the word.
Monogamy is for me, right? I would love to just have one girl to settle down, and we can all have girlfriends and call this a day.
Wow.
I would like you to elaborate on that.
Yeah, exactly.
I just, want one that meets a certain level of criteria. That's all.
And what is that criteria?
Yeah.
I don't think we have 3 hours to go over it, but
Oh,
I'll simply state I need a woman who stimulates me up here
Mm-hmm.
as well as other places. Like I can't do dumb girls.
Like
I've done
your
that
heart.
before.
Okay.
Sexually, spiritually, and physically.
There you go.
Well, funny you should say that. Ladies, could you? I'm just kidding.
Hit up your boy. Oh, did we mention he's 6'3"? I mean,
Yeah.
that seems to be popular. I mean, Mike's like 5'4", and he gets laid at the cyclic rate, so I know that's not important.
Yeah. It's all about your heart.
I would like to point out that just for the guys,
Yeah.
I lowered my chair and I'm slouching slightly.
Yeah.
No, I'm like 6'3" sideways. I got to go on a diet. I really got to go on a diet.
You look great. What are you talking about?
Yeah, no, that's all thanks to the girlfriend. Like, I feel bad whenever I'm going to eat, like, a burger, and I just feel her, like, judging me silently, like, in my subconscious. Like, what do we have for dinner tonight? A lean protein and a complex salad with 5 different types of vegetables.
I was like, what makes it complex?
Yeah.
Okay.
There was spinach, there was arugula,
Oh, wait,
there was
hold on.
cucumber, tomato, carrot.
I have never heard your girl ever be like, "Why are you eating that quesarito, you fat bastard?"
No,
I've
she's
never
too
heard her
sweet.
say
She
that.
wouldn't say that.
She's
She's
exactly.
very
She's
nice.
entirely too
Yeah,
sweet for that
yeah.
nonsense.
As for me, like, I'm over here just roasting the fuck out of my friends.
I heard you roasting her on the phone the other day. like I've never heard someone roasted so lovingly. You're like, "Aw, babe, you're so sweet."
Yeah. He roasts with his heart.
Well, it happens sometimes.
Yeah, for sure.
And, I'm fair game, too. You guys are more than welcome to say whatever you want.
You suck, Dan.
I know.
I feel bad. I'm sorry. Dan, remember when I said you suck? I didn't mean it.
No, you did. And that's what hurts the worst.
I felt the sincerity, you bastard.
So what else we got coming up for this season?
I don't know, man. You're the boss here. You let me know.
You made a whole ass post on the Smoke Pit Instagram that you had things you wanted to rant about.
Yeah, well, not this episode. This is a shirtless, shirtless vest episode.
I will say, in answer to some of the requests for some of the guests to come back or
Sure.
some more guests, I did mention to Lindsay the other day that we were starting season 3, and she said that's great, good for you guys. And I was like,
Oh.
I don't know how much more of a hey, come back on the show.
Well,
No, see, you're not a woman.
I was
You
just
can
about
make
to
the
say,
direct
yeah.
invite, okay?
I need to know how you said this or asked this.
I have to go back and check. I'm pretty
Okay.
sure I directly invited.
Pretty sure. I already know you fucked it up.
All right, so while they're doing that, I've actually been exploring some of my talents, and I actually found out that I have predilection to a little bit of psychic tendencies,
Oh, really?
and I'd like to enroll that.
I'm here for it.
Okay, so AJ. All right, so I am going to ask you a question, and you're going to give me a response, and I am going to give my psychic powers the opportunity to give you more insight to what you responded. Does that make sense?
Sure.
All right, so as he takes another pull of,
Yeah, drinking like a monster over there.
all right, AJ, where were
It's
you?
fine, I have class in the morning. Go ahead.
All right, where were you born?
New Orleans.
Correct.
Stupid.
Congratulations.
That was amazing.
Stupid.
Was it the pompadour that gave you that power? Or?
Hey, well, I wasn't wrong. All right, so here's another question. All right, Mike and AJ, did either of you pull out the last time you fucked?
No.
Correct, AJ?
I plead the fifth.
No, it's kind of funny because like when you're having a conversation with somebody who feels like they already know everything you're gonna say, and they're more concerned with just responding than they are listening. And I know AJ has thoughts on that.
I think the thing that has always irritated me the most, right, is when you have a conversation with somebody and you say something very simple. Like, I have given classes on philosophical arguments, right? So what constitutes an actual argument? And what constitutes an actual argument is you have a series of premises, which are things that you know to be true. And if all your premises are true, then your conclusion has to be true, right? That's simple basis of an argument.
Okay.
So if I say, for example, the Green Bay Packers have more playoff victories than any other team, 791, and I say they have more NFL championships overall than any other team at 13, right? So I could base my conclusion to say Green Bay Packers the best team in the NFL. Now, you could disagree with me, but you'd have to disagree with me with reason, right? You have to
Not necessarily.
You have to, well, no, that's the point. The point is the difference between being bitchy and having an actual dialectical discussion where you discuss reason back and forth is you'd have to either agree or counter-argue using other reasons.
Or you could just be bitchy.
Well, yeah, but that's the problem is when you're just bitchy, it doesn't go anywhere. You're just cycling each other up until, one of you is throwing things and the other one's, trying desperately not to pull your weapon.
Isn't that modern day politics?
Yeah, that's the problem, right?
So I'll use a little bit more of my psychic power. Mike, I'm going to look at you, and I'm going to predict the reaction on AJ's face. I would use the counter-argument of the San Francisco 49ers. He's angry, isn't he?
That is correct.
I'm not
Never wrong.
I'm not
Never
angry.
wrong. Sir, you are as red as the tactical vest you were wearing.
AJ, please stop yelling.
I'm not angry.
Look,
See,
he's resorting to alcohol.
Exactly.
what
Look at
you
him.
did
He's
is
in
exactly my
shambles.
point. Exactly my point. When you have an argument with somebody, right, you didn't give me a counter-argument. You just said the 49ers. If you had said your premises, the 49ers, this, and these are my reasons, and my conclusion is that the 49ers are better, that would have been
because they beat them in the last game they played.
Boom.
Yeah, they beat them in a game out of a bracket system.
And they went to the Super Bowl.
And they lost.
Still went to the Super Bowl.
And they lost.
Still were there.
Doesn't matter if you go to the Super Bowl, if you go there and lose, Daniel. Nobody cares about who came in second.
I do.
The point is, if you're going to have an argument with somebody, right?
Sure.
If you're going to have a discussion and you say, for example, give 3 premises and a conclusion, and the other person just goes and spits a bunch of bullshit back at you about, like, they hear one thing that you said in a sentence, and all of a sudden that's the only part they can focus on.
Now, what if another person's premises just sounds like bullshit to you?
Well, that's the thing. A premises has to be true. If you can knock the premises out, the equation falls apart and the conclusions falls.
You're not wrong, but you're very wrong. You know that? you know what I mean?
So I think there's a difference between arguing with emotion and arguing with facts.
With
100%.
reason, yes.
Yeah.
Because here's the thing, though, is because you can't have one-sided. You have to have a little bit of both. Because if you're arguing with pure cold fact logics, then you're devoid of your humanity. And a lot of common sense cases that, should have been dismissed or whatever, they get tried in court. As where if you're only arguing with emotion, you're blinding yourself to the logical things that could explain away some of the frustrations that you're having. So I think you should tend to lean a little bit more towards logic, but there has to be some emotion in there, because if you're passionate about what you're saying, your delivery will be different. And there's some study that said that the majority of human communication, your body language and your tone is more perceived than what you said, which is shitty because a lot of times you spend more time arguing about how you'd said something versus rather what you said.
That's my point exactly. 90% of human conversation is nonverbal. That's what you're going for?
Yes.
Yes.
Like when you're at a bar and you look over and you see a young lady and she's like maybe like a cool 110, and you look over her and you see her friend who's like a cool 300. There's different body language between how you look between the two of them.
Yeah, you look at the second one and go, nope. Right? And then you combat roll back to the 120.
Right.
Right?
So I will say one time when we were young boots, AJ fucking saved me from Gargantuan the Butter Beast.
Oh my God, Beatrix.
Yes.
I remember this. This is a great story.
See how proud he is to have a memory?
Yeah.
I'm going to tell you, not only
The
was
fish oil is working.
You've been in the hospital like 80 times in the last 5 years. I haven't gone to the hospital once except for my required physicals.
And it shows.
I am in tip-top shape, sir.
No,
I plan to stay that way. That's why.
We were at dinner like 2 or 3 days ago, and he just like takes a bite, and then he sets his fork down, and then screams into his hand. I'm like, Jesus Christ, are you okay? He's like, yeah, I'll be fine. I gave myself some antibiotics. And I was just like, dude, like, if you're screaming
What a life.
into your hand at a restaurant, like, we should go to the ER. He's like, no, I ain't no bitch.
Yeah, exactly.
And then takes another bite, and he's like,
I had an infection in my gums.
because he went down on an old shoe outside of a gas station.
Exactly.
You don't get infections in your gums that way.
He would know.
Because he has them.
Because I have
the
I have
shoe.
medical training. No, I got an infection in my gum up in here. And
Up
down,
in here.
Up in here, and then down in this row, right?
Okay.
So I put myself on a double course of antibiotics because the antibiotic medication dosing is based on 165-pound white man, and I'm a little bit heavier than that. So I gave myself antibiotics, and a week later, look at this. Perfectly fine, right?
For
No
those
pain.
listening, he just drummed on his penis.
That's perfectly fine,
Yeah,
too.
exactly.
And for those ladies listening, he clearly just had a bunch of antibiotics, so he is clean as a whistle.
That's right. Valentine's Day is coming up, gals.
Yep. And Valentine's Day is the day you find out if you're the main chick or the side bitch. Now, we'll get to that in a second, but I want to give AJ the opportunity to finish telling the story.
Yeah.
We're young boots. It's like 2005, I think, Camp Lejeune.
We should have started with this story because this is way better than all the nonsense bullcrap about how I'm your best friend and that gives you the opportunity to tell me that I like heavy girls. So,
like he needed to tell you.
like he hasn't mentioned it dozens of times. My first
look.
appearance was a 45-minute story about apparently that.
Look, all I'm saying
Allegedly.
is it's not that AJ doesn't have the ability to pull some fucking hotties, because he has,
True.
and I've seen it.
True.
And I will testify in front of a court of law if it comes to that.
Or a court of chubby women.
Yes, who the jury will probably be people he'd be interested in.
Look, I'm not saying I like chubby girls, right? But I do have a sickness for the thickness.
He
and
does.
there's a difference.
What would you say is the major difference between liking chubby girls and having a sickness for the thickness?
Okay, so a
See,
girl,
everything he's about to say is bullshit.
I know,
and
I'm
I'll
so-
tell you the
and I'm
truth.
so
a
excited.
girl who
Like-
doesn't take care of herself, right, can be just heavy, and then you go up to them and you go, and their meat just goes all over the place. it's like you slapped a water balloon, right?
You hear that? AJ hits women. Okay,
But
good.
I do not hit women. Don't start rumors, Michael. But
Yeah.
a girl who's just thick, right? Thick with 2 or 3 or 4 C's, depending on how many squats
I've
they
never
do.
All of
dared
the
to do
Cs.
more than 2 C's.
If you go-
AJ's
if you
going
go
to
up
the
to-
4th dimension.
If you go to 4 C's,
Depends on the squats, right?
That's
Depends on the
like
squats.
if this was the equivalent of light speed, he just went to plaid with
Yeah.
his
I did
thickness.
just go to plaid. Excellent reference
Yeah.
right here. So a thick girl, right? You walk up and you give her a little nice slap, right?
just keep hitting Dan, yeah.
And it doesn't go anywhere. Like you get maybe like 1.5 of these, and then that's it.
Okay.
It stops.
Sure.
Yeah, he has an algorithm for the jiggle.
I
Yeah,
do.
yeah.
I have a jigularism. Jigularism. I don't know.
Very careful
Very,
with
very
the diction there.
careful. Very
I'm getting danger close to saying something inappropriate, so I'm going to stop. Let me tell the story. This is great.
Yeah.
So, in our boot group, every time we went out,
boot group.
we would cycle who got to pick which bar we were going to.
Okay,
right?
fair.
And all of us would try to pick something different every time, except for our buddy Shane. And Shane liked to always pick the same place because he's from southern Canada, also known as Ohio.
Yeah, the guy from the Chardon story.
Yeah, from Sharton. So Shane always wanted to go to Tar Heels. It's a bar whose whole theme is dirty feet. So you
Right.
can imagine the kind of people to go
Of
there.
course, I've been to Tar Heels, yeah.
Yeah. So we go in there, and at some point, Gargantua the Butter Beast, who was actually quite low, but also quite like her gravitational field
Right.
was a lot bigger than you'd expect for a thing that size, indicating her density was a lot higher than average.
Sure.
So she comes over, and she is on Dan like stink on a dead goat, right? Just like, oh, hey, hot stuff, like rubbing in his hair and like grabbing his meat and all that stuff.
God damn, Dan.
And Dan is pinned. he's in like this unfortunate area where there's like a bar on one side and there's
Yeah.
like too much furniture on the other.
Yeah, you know how like when you're playing football and like the defender's coming at you, you can juke to the left or juke to the right, and you can get around them because there's running lanes. You know,
Usually,
There was
there was no
juke
lanes.
space. No
If
juke
I
space.
juke to the right, I'm still hitting her. If I
Yeah.
juke to the left, I'm still hitting her. Like she needs to be the starting fucking defensive end for the fucking Green Bay Packers, and they can get back to the Super Bowl.
I specifically
lose to the
remember
49ers.
I specifically remember that you could have juked to the left because I knew exactly where you were standing. I have a vivid memory of that night. I don't know what I have for breakfast,
Wow.
but I remember that. So this woman's coming up, and she's all over Dan like stink on a dead goat.
Got it.
And so I come over, and I'm like, I recognize the symbol of the man in trouble. So I go over there, and I give her the old, and I'm 6'3", and she's like a lot shorter than that. So I give her the old arm around the neck, and I was like, oh, hey, girl, what's up?
Yeah.
What you got going on? And she saw this tall thing engaging her intentionally, and for a moment she got distracted. And when she got distracted, and I hand to God, right, this is the kind of person Dan is, he combat rolled into the main area of the floor, which is broken halfway between a dance floor and a bunch of round tables with chairs around him. He like half somersaulted, half combat rolled into this area, ducked under a chair, and then I saw his head popping up like a gopher, like every couple seconds, and I could time it in my head by I'm up, she sees me, I'm down.
Yeah, right, of course.
Gets completely to the other side of the bar, and then I see him like a Judy yeet himself out of a window, and I was like, all right, well, he's gone. Now I just have to make my own extraction.
Yeah.
And right when I was trying to figure out what the plan was for that and like kind of be like, oh, I'm going to go grab some drinks. I'll be right back.
Yeah,
and then never go to Tar Heels ever again.
Sure.
Right.
Burn it to the ground. Yeah.
But just light a match and don't look back. Shane comes up, and Shane legitimately thought I was trying. So Shane comes over there and tries to cock block me.
Oh, wow.
And I was like, he was like, hey girl, you want a real man? I was like, you can have all the real man you want, honey. He's right here.
And this is where I have to take over just for legal reasons.
Okay. What do you got?
So like she looked over at Shane, and for the time, like he was a really good looking guy, you know.
For the
And,
time.
yeah. I mean, we all age, you know, like we're not the same as we were when we were 19. And Mike's eyes just dilated hard as fuck. Just the idea of aging to him is terrifying.
I have the coronavirus.
And so at this point in time, oh Jesus! And
Not during the show,
not
AJ.
during the show.
Come on.
Right? You made a 9/11 joke during the show.
I did not. I absolutely did. I've never made a 9/11 joke. But if I had, it's been over 10 years. It's okay.
Yeah, so
10 years is the rule of comedy, man.
Oh, man.
Coachy comes up and he's just like, "Hey, dang on girl, man, you want to go down to the nitty gritty, man?" And she's like, "What the fuck did you just say?"
He's like Boomhauer.
Yeah, and he's like, "Come on, girl," and she's like, "Nah, like I'm good." And she like looks back to AJ. At this point in time, he had just about as much whiskey as he's had tonight.
Oh, shit, yeah.
And then he fucking face plants on top of the fucking girl.
Oh, no.
I
No,
love
you're
it.
mixing stories.
Oh, am I? Was this another fucking
Is this a
small
smoke
movie?
pit or is this a fucking VFW old men recant fucking war stories?
Same girl,
What the fuck
different
is going
night.
on?
You met her on a second night?
Again, not intentionally. We went-
Exactly.
No, listen. So we
I'm just imagining. I just want to make a pun real quick for it leaves my mind. I'm imagining her built like the boogeyman from Nightmare Before Christmas, and you're like Jack Skellington every time you put your arm around her. That's what I'm seeing in my head. For the record, how close am I?
she very much looked like Jack's looked like the
boogeyman?
boogeyman.
Yeah.
I was not thin enough to look like Jack Skellington
Okay.
at the time,
That's just
but I appreciate it.
Yeah. For my own brain animation.
I
that's
was
kinda what I'm
dressed way
seeing.
too fancy for being there, and by saying that I mean I was wearing shoes and a shirt at the time.
It was Tar Heels. That's true.
Right. So, but no, I got out of there, and Coachy was with her. That's the last I saw. Right. And Coachy did what he always does, and he showed up. God knows when the next day. Right. So he was safe, but apparently he had left something. So the next night he makes an excuse, and he's like, "Hey, would you mind going with me over to this place real quick before we turn around and hit wherever other place everybody was going? We'll run in there, we'll grab the thing, we'll leave." I was like, "All right, cool." So we go into Tar Heels. Beatrix is there. And the first night she had done a lot of work trying to make like she got a little glow up going, right?
Sure, it was fair.
Right?
Yeah.
So the second night it was like later on a Sunday, and she was like not having that crap. Like she wanted a drink, but she didn't want to glow up for it. So she was in sweats. Gray
Okay.
gray high school gym sweats.
That's what's up.
Head to toe,
That's
hoodie. just a wreck, right? And I'm not judging. It's a Sunday.
Dressed like a Rocky training montage.
Exactly. That's exactly right. So we go in there, and at that point, like, Coachy was doing whatever Coachy does, which is to be just ridiculous.
Okay. He starts shooting Southern Comfort.
Probably.
Yeah.
Nice,
So
nice.
I was in the corner getting drunk, waiting on Coachy to hurry up. And at some point, I said, fuck it. And I started drinking Jameson instead of, a couple of beers, because Jameson will get you a little messed up, a lot less carbs in your system at the same time. Then Beatrix shows up.
Classic Beatrix.
And Beatrix is like, hey, I have these 4 Jaeger bombs,
Okay.
and I can't find 2 of my friends. Do you want to, what are you doing? And I was like, I'm hanging out waiting for Shane to come back. And she goes, oh, okay, I remember Shane. He was a nice guy. And I was like, okay, cool.
Yeah.
That means it worked.
Yeah.
Yeah, except that 2 or 3 Jaeger bombs later, right? And I was a lot younger. This was like 20, 21.
Yeah, he was 21.
I was 21,
Yeah.
yes.
Yes.
He was the only one of the boots that was old enough to buy beer.
That is true.
Mm.
I have a good story about that later. So I'm sitting there. I'm absolutely verschnickered, and
Yeah.
2 Jaeger bombs turns into like more Jaeger bombs. I don't remember how many.
Fair.
So at some point, I'm telling her a story, right? And I'm telling it the way I talk, which is, a lot of emphasis and hands are going, and I'm trying to build the world around the story so that she can feel what's going on.
Right.
Trying to be a good storyteller. And at some point, I went, and I completely just from the waist down, feet still on the ground, waist up, just
What the fuck?
straight fell forward, pinned her. She was pinned backwards, right? Back on the table.
Yeah.
Faced up like, the fuck? The next thing I know, I'm in, what was that pedo's guy's name that was in our
Holland.
Holland? We were in Holland's car on the way back.
For legal reasons, we cannot confirm or deny any legal status he may have.
Sure.
Fair enough. So me and Holland and Coachy and like 2 other people are in Holland's car. I'm in the front seat because where the hell else were they going to put me?
Fair.
And I've got just cold air blasting on my face because they put the window down and stuck my head out.
That's where that shit goes.
And I woke up, I was like, what happened? They're like, you passed on Beatrix and we had to rescue you. And I was like, thanks for making me drink all that booze, Shane. You dick. Where were you? And I'm pretty sure he said I was shooting Southern Comfort and trying to pick up a girl with no shoes.
Wow.
So I don't know if what you deciphered from that story.
Yeah.
But I gathered that on his second date with this girl, he ended up pinning her.
On top of her, correct.
Yeah.
That is what the record will show.
Yep, that's what I will testify to.
Absolutely.
Erroneous.
Erroneous may be correct 100%.
A wise man once said it's hard to dispute an argument unless you're using facts, and those who choose to willfully ignore those facts are committing sins against humanity.
Woof.
Wow, you just completely conflated 2 separate people.
Wow.
One was Plato, the other is W.K. Clifford.
And was I wrong?
Yes.
Or were those two statements said?
Ish. You kind of boogered them, but
Are they in reference to the fact that I just provided concrete evidence of my argument?
You didn't provide
and you
concrete
said
evidence of anything. You just
erroneous?
said I don't
Through
believe
your
you.
own admission, you admitted that the second night in a row you were drinking with this girl, you ended up on top of her.
2 things. First of all, the first night I was not drinking with her, I was rescuing you.
Yeah.
And I was, for the most part, sober. The second night, I was not going there for the purpose of... See, 2 dates would have required me to intentionally have gone there for her. First night, didn't even know who she was. Second night, I did not go there.
Close and personal.
That's
the second
right.
night.
Did not go there knowing she was going to be there, and there was like a good 2 feet between us throughout the whole time until
you wound up
until
on
I
top
blacked
of her.
out.
Yeah, on top
That's
of
one
her.
of the 3 times I blacked out in my entire life.
On top of her?
No, ever.
Oh.
One was then. One was the day I got out of the Marine Corps.
Fun.
I blacked out for about 30 seconds, and apparently I fell backwards, and the top half of me twisted, caught myself, pushed myself back to a standing position, and I continued to tell the story I was telling, despite being blacked out.
Debatable. Go ahead.
No, it happened. He was there. I
Okay.
have pictures of that night. It
Okay.
absolutely
All
happened.
right.
Oh yeah, like the roles have reversed a lot. Like I've gained weight and he's gotten skinny since that picture. Like we look like alternate universe Dan and AJ in that picture. Well, I had just gotten back from Afghanistan and
Yeah.
like I was like the skinniest I've ever been in my life.
Yeah.
Because the Marine Corps tried to murder me
Fair.
on dozens of occasions.
Fair.
They're like, "Hey, go patrol down that alley." I'm like, "But why?"
But yeah.
And they're like, "'Cause fuck you, face.
But the threat of death is in your face. Yeah,
Hey, even the Bible makes a distinction between murder and killing. All right, they were trying to kill you, not murder you.
Yeah, Ecclesiastes 3 says there's a time for peace and there's a time for war, a time to heal and a time to kill. And so there's a distinction between like, hey, look, like this dude is a terrorist and he deserves some fucking 5.56 in his face.
And AJ 316 says, maybe you just need some carrots.
And
What?
and Nate Dogg. I don't know. Yeah, something from Nate Dogg.
Oh, I want to hear what Nate Dogg said.
He said a lot. R.I.P. What did Nate Dogg say? Only person that I trust is me. But he said the N-word, so I can't say that. So actually, this whole rhyme is a moot point because I can't say any of it.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah. Great song, though.
I was talking to Mike earlier because a few hours ago he was in Paris, and I was like, hey, just wait
Agreed.
there, and I'll meet you there in a few weeks.
Yes.
Because I'm heading there in March. And he's just like, okay.
Okay, boomer. Yeah.
Yeah, and he's like, well, the fans are demanding season 3.
They are.
And I was like, look, I'll handle the fans, and I'll handle the Navy.
That's right, yeah.
You just go to fucking Notre Dame and put on a robe and start drinking wine.
Yeah. Dan tasked me to be the RP of Notre Dame, so that was pretty rude, but whatever.
And I was just like, just like lean like seductively against the outside of the construction.
Yeah.
And then when like, old like tourist ladies are walking by and they're lusting after you, be like, I got you, bitch.
Just smoke a very long cigarette and be like, merci.
I got you, bitch. Go inside and pray.
Exactly, yeah. I don't care. Yeah, I don't care if it's burnt down. Get in there.
If you're in Paris, being rapey and smoking a cigarette, it's kind of like the vibe.
Yeah, it's 100% true. Yeah. No
so like
personal
if you
space,
weren't eyeballing old ladies as they walk by, then they would be.
I'd probably be
suspicious.
arrested. Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
They'd be like, you don't have a single croissant on your whole person.
So, Mike,
Yes,
if
sir.
you could be an RP anywhere, where would you be? This guy said like 6 words the entire episode.
Well,
now
I'm
he's
just-
freezing.
It's not so much freezing. I'm letting you guys first off tell your great stories.
If you could be a blue side corpsman anywhere,
yeah,
where would
exactly.
you be?
If you could be a medic with anybody, if I could be an RP anywhere, well, I feel like I've lived out my dream of all the duty stations I'd like. But if I could be anywhere, there is one at the White House.
Oh, really?
There is.
Wow.
Yeah.
Can you imagine having to fucking hear the sins of everything that's going on in there?
Oh yeah, it's mainly for the staff. I don't think for the actual like presidential party, but
No, I'm sure like the president like calls like the Arch Canterbury of whatever.
The Archdiocese of Canterbury.
I knew he was gonna get so mad.
I didn't get mad. I was helping you.
AJ, stop yelling. You're
This is
so mad.
the problem.
So
I've been
mad.
friends with Dan for so long that he conflates me roasting him and me helping him.
Oh, that's fair. Well, that's fair.
Well, the camera just died.
Oh wow. Okay.
Well, that's that half of
if
the episode
that's,
gone.
Let me
Yeah.
just see if that's a thing. Just keep talking.
Well, we were talking about where you wanted to go.
The White House. That'd
Well,
be dope.
elaborate.
What? The camera.
Go fix it, Mike. I'll vamp with it for a minute.
Please finish my sentence, AJ.
So I think the reason he'd want to go to the White House is
Yeah.
because he didn't spend all these years and time and energy eating DoorDash all the time to look that good, to not be able to wear his dress uniform and walk around in on fancy floors and looking bougie.
I think it's more of a House of Cards kind of thing, where he was going to start a whisper campaign to get Planned Parenthood more budget and funding.
I honestly thought you said he was going to marry the president and then wait for him to get impeached so that he could
Be the first lady? What? Like,
I don't know. You know what? I got to tell you, I'm like a couple seasons behind on House of Cards, but the way it looked like it happened is
I've never seen House of Cards. I just knew that it's a political drama.
old boy became the vice president and then forced the resignation of the president. So now he's the president. And in the seasons I missed, now his ex-wife is the president or something. I don't know.
Well, that's because Kevin
Kevin Spacey.
Kevin Spacey?
Got
Yeah.
Kevin.
Because Kevin
got
Spacey was
Kevin Rapey. Yeah.
yeah he was putting his hands where they don't belong.
This just became an audio episode because I think camera's dead.
Yeah, I think the battery's dead.
Nice.
All right, so we'll figure that out later.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
We got highlights
Episode
from
2.
it. Yeah.
Episode 2.
Yeah.
Catch us there. And the battery was charged when we started, but we've been going for a while.
Well, the good people in Wuhan were busy, so they,
Exactly.
they weren't able to supply us with a power cord.
So, if you don't end up as the RP for the White House, where are you going to go in the next few years?
Well, no, I mean, as some people know, maybe not many, but some do know, I got slated to do recruiting duty next, and I'm going to be an NSW scout for the world's greatest navy. So,
Okay.
all
Which
the
one?
future, do what?
Sorry, just give me a hard time.
I was like, I don't even make any sense. I don't know where I'm gonna go yet. That's still up in the air. But so any future SEAL SWIC, EOD, or air rescue career paths have to come through this guy, unfortunately.
Okay. And so I'm figuring you're probably going to want to go somewhere pretty patriotic because you are lazy.
I am.
And you don't want to have to, like, work.
True.
So, but then you also have to balance that with a state with a low obesity rate. Because if they come in and they're not qualified, they're going to be like, hey, H&1 Sensi.
Oh, God.
Got him.
You got to go PT the fucking, the poolies.
Right.
All right, so that's Texas out. Because you said patriotic, I thought you were going to go with Texas.
Yeah.
Because any recruiter in Texas is just buried
Well,
in recruits.
that's on the dream sheet right now.
But if you want them easy to recruit and healthy, Arizona.
Well, maybe. Well, actually, I have actually heard it's a nightmare to recruit out of Arizona.
Is that because getting papers is hard? Or?
I honestly don't know the reasoning. I've heard from Marine and Navy recruiters that it's tough. I don't know about Army and Air Force.
Now, see, here is why my argument for Texas would be good.
Yeah.
Because although they're, the state of my birth has a very high obesity rate because of the delicious cuisine. And
debatable.
It's actually very good. But
yeah, it is really good. I'm sorry if you don't fucking find a crawfish in an old shoe outside of a gas station.
Stick your tongue in it.
Crawfish are delicious. And I've seen where you put your tongue. Okay, I don't want to hear your nonsense.
Anyways, I will say though, are a lot of student athletes out there.
Yeah.
So if you just like go to fucking swim meets and just like see who's like doing well, like that's half the battle right there.
Oh yeah, no, I know how to recruit. I got it.
Yeah.
I'm all over.
Oh,
it.
do you, Mr. Experienced Recruiter, who's done it so many times?
Yeah. I did 2 weeks shadowing. So
he has recruited so many 18-year-old and plus girls.
It's kind of true.
To unsolicitedly just come to his house.
That's called DoorDash.
Yeah, exactly.
No,
yeah.
AJ and I were talking about this the other day. If there was like a service that could combine Tinder and DoorDash. Hordash.
Isn't that just Tinder?
No, but they bring food.
But I was just about to. It's Tinder, but you ask them to bring Burger King.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hordash.
Except with Hordash, like they would get you exactly what you asked for,
right?
And not booger it and still expect the full Mike Sensi treatment.
It's true.
Cold lasagna.
I'm with it.
And so if we could, if there's any nerds out there who know how to make apps, patent pending because I just filed a patent on it.
Yeah, boom,
Wink.
Nerds, stupid nerds,
Suck it, nerd.
Fucking nerds.
Make me this app, and then so we'll get like super rich.
I'm with it. I'm 1,000% with it.
Yeah, so like it's like Bumble, but instead of having the female obligation to begin every conversation with just the word "hey," you're obligated to show up to the first date with food, and that says a lot about your taste.
Yeah, you have to bring food, not that dry ass opening.
So
Thanks, I could do so much with hey.
So with Hordash, granted you got just the normal Hordash, not Hordash Premium. If you have Hordash, do they get to pick the food?
No, that's actually part of it.
Okay.
Because if they show up with like some fucking doo-doo ass fucking bullshit,
right,
then you're like, oh no, clearly get the fuck out of here. Because Barstool posted something that's like, all right, like these are the best fries, like these are the best burgers, these are the best milkshakes, like pick one from each category. But they didn't have Checkers on there. So I was like, don't fucking disrespect, and I added Checkers rallies.
Yeah, for sure.
Because Checkers fries are fucking amazing.
Fucking
top
fire,
3,
absolutely.
easily.
They're up there.
I mean, it's kind of interchangeable depending on my mood, but my top 3 in no particular order are Chick-fil-A, Arby's, and Checkers.
Are we doing fries, right?
Yeah.
So I would literally just switch for me Chick-fil-A and Arby's. Arby's curly fries are undefeated.
Yeah, in no particular order.
Yeah, undefeated.
AJ?
I would go definitely Checkers rallies first, and then Arby's.
That's fair.
Yeah, because those, like, I don't like a lot of stuff at Arby's, but the fries are.
Yeah, those curly fries
you can't
are
hate on
fucking
that.
awesome. Yeah.
And then third, I don't know if I have a third. It's either one or the other. I'm not going.
The Lord's fries.
I'm gonna go to one or the other. Like
the waffle fries are amazing.
The waffle fries are.
Well,
okay.
even if you're looking at the industry standard, the McDonald's fries are classic. You know, what I mean? Top 5. You don't like McDonald's fries.
No, McDonald's fries have to be consumed within 15 seconds,
Easily, yes.
or they turn to rubber.
If they don't come right from the deep fryer right to your fat, stupid face, then you won't enjoy them for sure.
Like
but
you have to lean into the window and have them put that thing they use, the little scooper, to put them into the bucket.
Dump it directly in your mouth.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, and so I tagged him. I was like, don't ever disrespect checkers like that again.
Fair.
And then the verified checkers page liked my comment.
Oh, I love it. I love it.
And I was like, oh, yeah.
It's always good when you get ridiculous verified pages to like your mentions, because when I mentioned Pedialyte in one of our posts, they like my mention of them, which made me think maybe Pedialyte would sponsor us. They still haven't. Kind of rude, but whatever.
No, I DM'd them.
I
and
know
they
you
have
did. I
yet
know
to
you did.
respond.
I know you did.
I was all over that.
Pedialyte has saved me from many hangovers and saved my career several times.
That is why I would love them to sponsor the show.
Yeah, like
Even
AJ
though
would
we
go up there with like a fucking like a basket full overflowing of Pedialyte, and the guy behind the counter is just like, "Oh man, is the baby okay?" And AJ's sweating profusely. It's like the baby is gravely ill.
I went to an Iron Maiden concert back in the day, and I'll give you the short version of the story. Right. So suffice to say, Iron Maiden, for their age, puts on one hell of a show.
Oh,
and there's a
agreed.
lot of shit going
Agreed.
on stage. It's a lot of movement.
Well, sure.
The drummer has an actual, like they say drum pit a lot. This guy had an actual pit with 3 walls around it to stop people from tripping over him. And when they put him up on the Jumbotron, you could see the little table he had next to his drum set had a bottle of, I think it was Johnny Walker, and a bottle of Pedialyte. And every time he'd take a swig from one, he would drink straight from the bottle of one and then drink an equal amount straight from the bottle of the other. And I was like, this is a man who over the last 40 years has figured out how to party.
That's right. Yeah. I knew somebody who used to like take those really big shot glasses, like the normal, like the double ones, and he would pour a normal size shot and then mix it with Pedialyte, and it was just like it tasted fine, but it helped hydrate you along the way. You'd still get fucked up, but you'd be hydrated.
Yeah, so if your date shows up and she's got some fucking like fucking Zaxby's fucking fresco menu from Taco Bell, like some bullshit like that, you're like, all right, you know. But if she's showing up with a fucking deluxe Chick-fil-A sandwich with some Polynesian sauce, you're like, okay.
I'm all about the fresco menu, but that's not the energy you should be coming with if you're looking to get some.
Yeah, not on a first date.
Not on a first date.
I need the sour cream and the cheese, right? Like that dairy is going to give me the energy to
give her the dairy.
Give her the dairy.
I wasn't trying to usurp your cream pie commentary, but
oh yeah, that's fair.
No. See, as Mike is in a committed relationship,
that doesn't stop the cream pies. It just localizes.
No, it doesn't. But
there's still a healthy dose of high fructose corn syrup being served.
But there is a void, and AJ has elected to be the one to fill it.
Well, if only one of us gets to fill voids from now on, I guess it's going to have to be me. I'll take up that mantle. I'll be that hero.
That's right. Yeah, exactly.
No, because we were sitting there, and I won't give any timeline to this because I don't want to step on anyone's toes. But sometime in the past, we were sitting there and we're out doing something, and AJ has a lady friend over.
Sure.
And she's like, all right, well, I'm going to use the bathroom. And she fucks off and immediately pulls out his phone and starts swiping right on everything on Tinder.
That's fair.
Erroneous.
And I remember sitting there, and I messaged him the next day after I had thought about it, you know?
Yeah.
I was like, I wonder which girl you swiped right on is going to be the villain of season 15 of our friendship.
Solid line. That's a solid line.
It was a solid line.
Exactly.
I'll tell you.
Did you give him the props he deserved for the line, though?
I gave him the props he deserved for the line, but let me tell you something. I have only once ever, and this was like 2 or 3 years ago ish.
Yeah.
I'm hazy on details because I'm old, but
fair.
There's only been one period in my life where I had Tinder on my phone at the same time as I was like dating a girl or two,
okay.
right? And I mean little D-dating, like you go out on a date, you're not committed to anybody yet, right?
Okay.
I'm just saying because that's...
Oh, you don't have to explain it to him, all right? See, like, you remember that app on your phone where you had like 3 runways, one for big planes, one for Learjets, and one for helicopters? You had to like line everything up.
Yeah.
He's the fucking master at that.
Yeah.
As where you tend to fail on level 3.
That was a good reference, too.
All I can tell you is that clear and open and honest communication is very important. But it's important for both parties to listen to that communication.
It is. And so, you know, if you're not committed in a relationship, you know, then, you know, you're entitled to your fucking options.
Sure.
If someone's not your husband, your wife, your boyfriend, your girlfriend, if you don't have a fucking specified title, then you need to fucking vocalize that expectation. Be like, hey, look, if you're hitting it, then, you know, nobody else. But if you didn't say that, then cream pie.
And in fairness, I've had a couple girls I've dated that are like, look, we don't have to put a label on it, but exclusivity is kind of my thing. And I'm like, okay, that's fair, right? That's a fair conversation. We both managed expectations.
What a weird kink, yeah.
Talking to girls in complete sentences.
Some of y'all are perverts.
Come over.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm just saying, when you have an 8-foot piece of 1-inch tubular nylon, right? Like, they're more into that. Like, they'll be into that in a heartbeat without any. They're like, do what you will. I don't care about my existence is moot at this point. But like you have a conversation about relationship stuff. And you're just like,
yeah. Don't get weird. Yeah.
No, AJ is a fucking beast in bed. Again,
Mike's about to spit beer everywhere.
And I know this because he and I have
sex, yeah.
Well, beyond that, we've shared the same room, we've shared the same girl.
Right, true.
And we've shared adjoining rooms over the last decade and a half, and
some of that is true.
All of that is true. And I remember, and again, not to specify any particular period of time, because some of the ladies that he and I have been with, we're still friends with, and I don't want to embarrass with anyone. Some of them listen to the show.
Oh wow!
Yeah, it's not unreasonable to still be friends with somebody you used to date. Like, if you end on good terms, there's some people are just better off as friends. And I think the problem is a lot of people fall in love with people they should only have fucked once or twice.
I think you're right on that, and I will agree that not every time you date somebody is it going to work out. Clearly, that's the purpose of dating. It's a long interview to see if you're going to be long-term compatible, and if you're not, right? If they're not, you're not. There's no reason to get hard feelings about it. Like, I think I made one crack on the show about one girl that I dated back in the day, and I didn't say her name, and it was a very sideways crack, and you'd have to really be listening to understand it. And like, I felt bad about it like the next day for like a minute. Yeah. And then I realized her NFL team is garbage, and so I felt less bad. But there's just no reason that things have to go south.
Yeah, and so he and I were hanging out at his place, and I am on the couch. He's got a decent sized house, pretty big, and so like the living room is maybe clear 50 yards from one end to the other side where his bedroom is, and I'm sitting on the couch, and all I hear is and I'm like, God damn, dude, get it. And then like, so I'm watching like Brooklyn Nine-Nine or something, like 2 episodes later, like it's all just like Shaq running in wet flip-flops. And I'm just like, Jesus Christ, like this is physically impossible. Like, you can't go full porn star pound for half an hour.
When you're AJ, you can, yeah.
Well, because he does all the spin classes for the intense cardio.
That was prior to the spin classes.
And then 2, the fact it's just a matter. It's like, I hate when dudes are like, yeah, I fucked this girl for 4 hours. I'm like, 1, how did you not satisfy her in 4 hours?
True.
2, how did she not get sore? Like, what are you packing down there? A fucking combo?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, no. Here's the trick, and usually, they asked for sexual enlightenment.
Yeah.
True.
Right.
True.
So here's AJ's tip for this. Right. It's not about pounding it for 4 hours, because if you're sitting there pounding the same thing for 4 hours, she's gonna be like on her phone, like Googling stuff, because you're boring the crap out of her. Right. And this is any human being. You do the same event, like if you get a 4-hour blowjob, sure. I mean, the first 20 minutes are probably great, but after an hour, you're like, I got stuff to do.
I don't like blowjobs.
No, Mike is like, absolutely not. I'm like, I don't last more than 3 minutes in blowjobs, which is delightful for girls because they don't get lockjaw. Yeah. But like, AJ's over here, like,
marathon.
How many licks does it take?
Dick sucked. Yeah.
No, but it was just straight fucking clapping the cheeks for like 45 fucking minutes straight, and I was just like, this is embarrassing.
You gotta flip
like
them around,
the rest
man.
of us.
Yeah.
You got to flip them around. You got to switch positions, switch angles, switch other things.
Look, I'm just saying that, and there's been times where he's like, hey man, like, can you go in my room and grab this? I'm like, yeah, sure, not a problem. I go in there, and there's fucking like whips and chains.
Oh, I don't want to hear it there, yoo-hoo, because I couldn't find the rechargeable batteries for the Xbox remote one time.
The Xbox.
Yes, the rechargeable AA batteries for the Xbox remote.
Yeah.
There are 4 of them so that they can be cycled, and they're plugged in the kitchen. Right. I'm giving you extraneous details so you know off the top of my head that I'm telling the truth.
So he's so trustworthy.
Yeah, exactly.
Couldn't find him, so I was like, oh well, Dan's got an Xbox or PlayStation or something up in his room. Let me go look. And I went up there and I opened the door, and it looked like one of those skeezy porn shops where you walk in there and you don't want to touch anything without hand sanitizer.
Fair.
And I was like, you know what? I'll just watch Hulu. I don't need the Xbox remote that bad.
Yeah,
I thought I was gonna get coronavirus just walking in there.
Like, I went into his room, and like it's like he's got everything set up with like the Alexa app too.
Right.
And so like there's different voice commands. You could be like, Alexa, voice command or whatever the activation is, be like, welcome to the jungle. And then immediately all the lights go red and rock music starts playing and these fucking things deploy from the headboard.
Whoa. Let's back up. Okay, first of all, it's Alexa, engage Barry White protocol.
Oh, it's Barry White protocol.
That's sexy time.
Yeah.
And that's when Alexa turns the lights deep red, turns on the Barry White, activates the alarm system, right, and locks the front door. The difference is welcome to the jungle, right? Engage welcome to the jungle protocol. Alexa turns all the lights a deeper shade of red, right? Opens the front door, activates the alarm, like calls for help, and then plays Welcome to the Jungle as loud as it can, because that's when I'm coming out of my back room with a shotgun. And anybody who's not one of my family members or Daniel is getting some rubber koosh balls to the face. Oh yes, by the way, they have less than lethal shotgun shells that shoot koosh balls.
That's pretty dope.
That's what he calls his penis.
And they're all pink koosh balls, because if you get shot with one of those things in my house, I'm gonna embarrass you with
Nobody wants to take your pink koosh balls to the face.
Nobody.
That's why you shouldn't break into my house.
Fair.
And so like, and I remember I asked him about this too. I was just like, like how do you get these girls to be so wild over you? Because I've seen some of them be pretty obsessive, right?
Yeah.
And he's just like, brother, man, it's all about the fucking oral skills. Like, yeah, sure, it's great to fucking pound them into oblivion. Just give them fucking hip fractures. But if you can give them universe perspective altering orgasms with your tongue, like, by the fifth or sixth one, like, they're on a different plane. I was just like, fifth or sixth?
Jesus
I've given
Christ.
like 5 orgasms my entire life. Like, you do 5 a night? Like, no wonder these chicks are obsessed with you.
Me giving oral sex is much like giving a dog a sour treat. Like, it'll sniff it, then it's just no.
What kind of girls? Did DoorDash delivery girls have sour vaginas, Mike?
DoorDash has a 1-star rating for me, for sure.
So, AJ, would you please, for our unenlightened listeners, would you please describe what you think men should know about oral?
Are we really doing this?
Yeah, let's do it. Let me get comfortable and pop another beer.
Oh, shit, yeah.
Mike, do you want another one?
Yeah, please, yeah.
As this is episode 1 of season 3, we're gonna go for an extended time.
Well, everyone demands longer episodes, so you're getting it, motherfuckers.
Well, yeah. Some of us have 2-hour drives to work, so that makes sense.
That's fair.
So, and Dan and I have had this conversation recently because he asked me some questions, and every girl's different, right?
Yeah, I like this one. I want to keep her, like I want her to be happy for the next few decades. So like I went to the grand poobah of box eating. And,
that's fair, right?
Yeah.
Like if I need to know stuff about, I don't know how to make podcasting stuff, I'll go to Dan, right?
Wow. Yeah, exactly. Just podcasting stuff.
No, but I was about to make a crack about Mike, and I was trying to say something nice, and only bad shit was coming. And I was like,
I know.
I was like, what is wrong with me?
Well, I saw you look at me, and I was like, well, here we go.
I was like, if I need to know how to look good with my shirt off, or at least
there we go.
Look like I think I look good with my shirt off.
Yeah, well, I do, but it's fine.
Right. Well, no, you do. I'm just saying, if I had my shirt off, you guys would be blind because I'm brighter than the lights.
If you need corn recipes, if you need tattoo advice, like
there you go.
Yeah.
So anyway,
fair enough.
You go to the person who knows the thing.
Right.
So the key here is this. One is you should do it often, right? Like as often as possible. Like think about it this way. If you do it every single time, or not every single time, you don't want to build too much of an expectation, but if you do it often, 3 or 4 times a week at least, right? You go down there and you start with that, your entry later is going to be a lot easier.
Okay.
So you're doing both of you a favor.
Okay.
All right. The second thing is you can't just do one thing, right? Just like you're not going to pound a girl the same way for 45 minutes because you're both going to get sore and your hip flexors are going to break, right? You gotta.
Yeah, in magical land, like
in Candyland.
I'm saying you gotta change positions.
I'm just saying, like you get like 5-10 minutes tops from me, and then it's her turn to be on top. Let me catch my breath. Like, I am not a young man anymore.
That's why you change positions.
Yeah, and Mike is like 4 pumps, you're done, you get out of there.
Exactly.
You got time to catch the fucking early bird special at Shoney's. Like
so here's another little trick I'll give you. Right, this is a general trick. So when I teach a lot of classes. And a lot of times there's, you're giving exposition for long periods, so you're talking. You have to speak very loudly so all the students can hear you, and all this other stuff. And there are times when you've just been talking, and you're demonstrating at the same time, so you start getting winded. And there's no amount of physical effort you're going to be able to, like, we got one guy that runs like the wind, and he gets winded the fastest because he's just talking so fast and so loud. So there's certain parts, you just have to pre-program those parts where, say, if you're doing room entry tactics, you'll have a door closed and you'll be coming from that door, right, to display what it's going to look like on the outside.
Right.
But when you close that door, you just got to be like, right, like get the breaths in while you can.
Yeah.
Right. So that's the trick, is so you don't get winded, is, you go until you get the first orgasm and then you switch a position, and the time spent switching positions, giving them instructions, whatever else you need to do, that's where you go.
Instructions?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, again, clear and concise communication is important.
Don't look me in the eye.
Look me only in the eye.
Exactly.
I want unblinking, unbroken eye contact.
Use both your eyes to look me only in the left eye.
Anyway, it's the position change gives you that brief moment of pause. You can kind of move your hips around a little bit so you get loosened back up. And same thing with oral. You don't want to sit there and just do the same, like doing the alphabet every time, because that's boring.
Now, does the alphabet work?
The alphabet works kind of.
I've never made it past A because I don't care.
Well, there's 26 letters, right?
Yeah.
So 26 letters, if you do each one for, let's say, 10 seconds, that's 260 seconds, which is less than 5 minutes. Ish.
Yeah.
I'm guessing, I'm hoping that math's right.
It's whatever.
So whatever, but it's not very long, right? So you gotta do the alphabet's fine.
Yeah.
Switch to Cyrillic if the first alphabet's not working for you. Right.
And for those of you who aren't nerds, Cyrillic is the Russian alphabet.
Exactly.
I'm sorry if you've gone to a counter intel class ever.
Like
Ooh,
all of our
hard
listeners,
flex.
yeah.
Hard flex.
Like all of our listeners have.
I'm sorry, a lot of our listeners have.
No,
Maybe
maybe
they get the boring
some.
version where they sat and
No.
did a PowerPoint in the
80%
base
of
theater.
our audience is either a woman that Mike or AJ has slept with.
All both of them.
That's right. Yeah.
If we only had 4 listeners, this podcast wouldn't be
I
worth
feel like the
trouble.
numbers aren't reflecting that, but okay.
All right, so one of the things that AJ told me that I thought was pretty revolutionary was the difference between the ice cream lick and then the vortex.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Do tell.
That's a good point. So another trick you can use is when your tongue gets tired, like if you don't talk as often as I do and you don't have complex tongue muscles,
Sure.
right? You can hold your tongue stiff and then move your head up and down or left and right.
Oh.
Best thing to do is kind of do a lazy figure 8, right? Because that way you're getting the left and right and the up and down, which is good,
Sure.
right? But that's an exterior stimulus. The other thing you can do is you put your upper lip has to kind of be bent in a little bit to cover your teeth,
Okay.
right? And then you push that above the clitoris. And then the bottom side, you kind of move up and down a little bit because you have to breathe.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
And if you got your face in there the way you should, your nose is no good to you, right?
Look, this dude is so serious about eating pussy. He puts on one of those nose strips before he goes down there.
No, hell no. You don't have time for that.
What are you doing? Time for
Ain't nobody's got time for that. Because then you look like a dingus when you come back up and you're going to be like sexy trying to rip that thing off and half your skin comes with it. You're like, no thanks.
Yeah, but once she's had universe perspective shattering multiple orgasms, she's
Once
not
she's
gonna be
seen
looking
God
at
through her clit, yeah.
Yeah.
But anyway,
Sure.
so you push your upper lip in there and you put your lower lip up in there as much as you can. You have to occasionally open the sides of your mouth to breathe,
Sure.
right?
What are you, a transformer?
Let the man speak.
Deploy vents.
Yeah.
Now, my only question is this before or after you put grill your ass off seasoning on the clit?
Well, it depends. If you're using Pop Smoke's patented fajita flavor brand, then you put it on beforehand.
Oh, yeah, because that's some good shit.
If you don't have it yet, right, first, go to Grill Your Ass Off and buy some.
Use our discount code SMOKEPIT to save yourself some money.
There you
it
go.
is.
And while it's in the mail, if you have an urgent need,
Yeah.
you can kind of makeshift with what you have. Maybe use Tony Chachere's or some Zatarans. Those are both Cajun blends. They're very good. I would recommend against using Old Bay unless your woman is over the age of 75.
We're
or
not
from Maryland.
shouting out seasonings, all right?
I'm not. I'm saying like
we plugged our sponsor.
Old Bay is for grandma's biscuits.
They're a
That's
sponsor. They paid to be here.
Exactly.
That's my point. It's a
They named it after us.
Exactly.
Jesus.
Old Bay, more like Old Gay.
Actually, that's exactly where I was going with that, Mike. Thanks.
Damn it.
Old Bay's for grandma's biscuits, and that's about it. I'm saying you order the grill your ass off Pop Smoke seasoning.
There we go.
But, it's not going to be like 30-minute delivery, so you got to do something in the meantime, which is go to your cabinet and grab some Tony Chachere's, right? It's the cheaper alternative.
All right.
Stop plugging.
Stop plugging up.
I'm not. I'm saying they're garbage comparatively, right? Anyway, my point is you got to use something if seasoning's your thing. But you get in there, right, and you're basically creating a seal with your lips,
right,
and then you push the clit up against your upper lip, and then you give some suction, and then flick it with your tongue at the same time.
Wow. Okay.
Now, is there a different technique you use when you're eating the ass, or is it the same thing? Because I feel like suction in that.
No, never a suction in that. There's a thing I have in the dark, deep abyss that I like to refer to as EMT stories.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say your kinks.
No, that's a different dark, deep abyss.
No, but
for legal reasons we can't get into
darker, deeper.
But the point being is the key to eating ass, if you're inexperienced, is it's got to be clean. Because that really will get rid of most of your fears and your doubts and your insecurities. So get yourself some Semperfi soap at semperfisoap.com. And make sure you fucking scrub in there fucking nice and deep like.
How many sponsors do we have this episode?
It's got like 3 more.
Okay, fair enough. I'm asking. I wasn't even aware.
Look, Semperfi soap is good, but you should already have it in your shower, right?
Yeah.
And then if she's a little hesitant, you're like, hey, babe, let's take a shower together. Because for women, that's romantic.
Yeah.
Because they're not the ones freezing to death in the corner for the whole time.
That's true.
But you get them in there, and they're like, oh, what kind of soap do you have? You'd be like, I have Semperfi soap.
Yeah,
and you hold it up, and then you scrub their butts with it.
Always faithful.
Yep.
Yeah, and so like, and all bullshit aside, like they have like all the fucking like fancy shit that goes into it. It's not like bullshit chemicals that came from Wuhan.
Okay.
Like,
Oh no, those are solid chemicals that went to Wuhan. Came from Wuhan. There's like bat soup in there or something. I don't know.
Bat soup.
Yeah, so my favorite one is the frozen chosen, the spearmint and eucalyptus. Because if you're eating ass, you don't want it to taste like ass. You want it to taste like either grill your ass off or spearmint and eucalyptus.
I agree. Spearmint and eucalyptus is a very soothing flavor. But do you want me to tell you the EMT thing, or are we don't want to ruin the?
I think I got to start wrapping it up this episode. We're over an hour.
All right, this will only take 10 seconds. I want to tell the story.
I knew he wanted to do it.
I
Anyway,
want to
no
do it
matter
so
what.
bad
I know
now.
He does. Yeah,
Go
just
for it.
Because I had to suffer with this knowledge, and now I will make you suffer with this knowledge.
Woof.
There's a thing called shrimping.
Okay.
Jiu-jitsu technique?
Negative.
That's exactly what I was thinking.
That's what you should think because
Right.
you're not gross. Well, you're not that brand of gross.
Fair.
So
No, I am gross, but I'm also capable of killing people in a very varied fucking fashion of ways.
So shrimping, as it refers to in certain communities, is when you cream pie someone.
I'm listening.
And
You got too excited.
Yeah.
through the rear entrance,
Ugh.
and then you remove it orally with a straw.
Oh my.
This is not advisable because 1, gross,
Right.
and 2, bacteria live in there and it will
Gross.
make you sick.
Yeah.
And then when the EMTs show up and they ask you what you were doing that made you this sick that you didn't want to go to the hospital until you were about to die, then you have to explain to them what shrimping is, and then that image is burned in their minds forever.
You just got the 1,000-yard stare.
Exactly.
Palm
yeah.
Springs is disgusting.
Jesus.
Dan, take us out, please. I can't.
Before I do that, though, I do have to say, as an EMT, is there anything over the counter as far as like antibiotics or stuff that people can buy to kind of help with that shit?
No, antibiotics are not available over the counter in the United States.
Okay. So you have to admit that you were shrimping because now you don't and just sit there at fucking Crackle Barrel with fucking massive fucking face pain while we're trying to have breakfast.
You don't get gum infections from that. When you swallow it, you get infections in your tum-tum, right?
Not the gums, but the tum-tums.
Exactly. Oh, you know what?
Whoop.
I have something for this real quick. There was in D.C. they used to pass out pamphlets to drug users,
Right.
and it was not telling them to not use drugs and have sex for money, but it was telling them how to use their drugs and have sex for money responsibly. Like, you're going to do it anyway. We know that because we're not children.
Sure.
So we're going to help you manage your money. And so they'd say, when you get your paycheck, take out the money that you need for bills, and then whatever's left you can spend on meth.
Okay.
And they said if you're going to give blowies for drug money, then make sure you have something close by in order to rinse your mouth out. They said don't swallow it, right? Or swallow it immediately, right? They said your stomach acid will kill most of the stuff that's in there.
Right.
But, like, don't swish it around in your mouth. I don't know why you would, but that's not really my kink anyway.
Heinous.
They said either swallow it immediately or spit it out and rinse out your mouth with something.
Look me in the left eye with both your eyes when you swallow.
I'm not saying I agree or disagree. I'm simply saying that from a standpoint of that was a pamphlet that was handed out. I read this thing and I was like, what the fuck is this?
Whew.
But, you know, public health is important.
It is. I agree.
Yeah, so
You should have a stack of those pamphlets in your apartment.
okay, so to thankfully fucking bring this episode to an
Jesus
end.
Christ, I'm tired as fuck.
I have a story that I'd like to tell. Somebody DM'd me, and he basically was just like, hey, you know, I found my grandfather's map he had in his bomber jacket while he was flying B-17s in World War II. And so he framed it and put it on his wall, and, you know, he started thinking about, like, you know, how cool that was to kind of, like, see the routes that, you know, his grandfather had, like, and, you know, be able to, like, plot it out and, like, see, like, you know, where he was doing his missions and stuff, and, like, look on Google Maps and kind of, like, and have that connection, because, you know, he didn't have his grandfather anymore, so it was, like, a way to kind of connect back to him, and through his military service and through his grandfather's military service, kind of, like, you know, that additional family connection, right?
Yeah.
And so basically, it wasn't just his grandfather. It was, like, you know, his whole family, like, you know, his dad, his grandfathers, a bunch of great uncles, you know, World War II, Vietnam, like, modern day, like, his whole family that had served. And he was thinking, you know, like, what better way to remember, you know, your relatives' service and their adventures and stuff like that than through these maps. And so he started this company called Battle Archives. And so basically what he does is he takes, like, old battle maps with, like, the battle plans line drawn on them and stuff like that, and, like, from World War I and, like, even earlier than that, all the way through, like, modern day fucking conflicts, like some of the ones in Iraq and Afghanistan, and he makes these high quality fucking maps and he sends them out, and, you know, it's part of his business, and this is his business. And he sent me one of Iwo Jima, and it was fucking amazing. Like, to see, like, the fucking battle phase lines and, like, the commander's notes, and, like, to kind of, like, really get into it, because we've been in the Marine Corps Museum, and, like, you see, like, the old fucking docents in there, and they're telling, like, yeah, I fucking flamethrowed this dude in the face, like, right here on this hill.
Right.
And, like, how fucking dope is that, you know?
Yeah.
So we partnered up with them, and he actually sent me a second Iwo Jima map that in next week's episode we're going to launch a giveaway for.
Okay.
So Battle Archives is the actual name of the company, and so yeah, if you have any interest in something like that, you know, give them a look up. And I know that Iwo Jima is, you know, more of a Marine and Navy thing, you know, especially for, like, Greenside Navy. But, I mean, there were, you know, the Civil War and all earlier doesn't count because there was the only medal they had. But the Battle of Iwo Jima had more Medal of Honors awarded during that battle than any other battle in American history, besides, you know, the qualifiers I just said. And so, you know, Iwo Jima is the famous picture of the flag raising and, you know, all the history. They actually have the flag, both flags from the flag raisings in Iwo Jima. And before some of you fucking army pricks are being dicks about this, they put up a small flag and they're just like, no, we need a bigger one because, you know, why the fuck not?
Right.
And then they put up a bigger flag, and that's what they took the picture of.
That's true.
And then they still fucking fought for more days, and, like, 2 or 3 of the guys in the picture fucking died, so have some respect, you know?
Got it.
Yeah, like, people are like, oh, it's a stage picture. Like, no, my fucking foot's gonna be staged in your nutsack.
It sounds like a you thing.
But, yeah, so, you know, Iwo Jima is personally one of my fucking most revered fucking battles that the Marine Corps was in. So,
sure.
You know, we partnered with them, and we're going to be giving away this map. And the details for that is going to be in the next episode. So you're going to have to listen for that.
Fuck yes.
So if just why I furiously Google something real quick before because I'm unprepared.
Yeah.
What battlefield would you guys want a map like that from?
Bellewood.
They actually have Bellewood too.
I believe they do.
Yeah.
You know, during the Battle of Bellewood, they lost more Marines in a single day than the Marine Corps had lost ever total up until that point.
I was gonna say Bellawood also, only just because like just the fierce bayonet fighting that was going on during that battle was fucking like second to none. So. Oh shit! Let me see.
Yeah, that's the Bellawood map they
Yeah,
have
you
right
just
there.
showed me the Bellawood map.
Yeah, they have Iwo Jima, they have Normandy, they have some from the Revolutionary War.
See, that's the real trick. Marines have things on their uniforms from battles they fought, not because everybody needs a participation trophy patch.
We need special patches to make us feel special.
Yeah, so battlearchives.com. Make sure you check them
That's
out.
pretty fucking dope.
And so we will launch a giveaway with that, just for the fact that, like, you know, I thought it was a really cool fucking thing, and, you know, hopefully Gettysburg.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, Gettysburg.
That's a pimp-ass map.
Yeah.
Okay, so is there anything else we want to cover before we let Mike get his coronavirus fucking nap?
Before I let it drain out of me or whatever. No, I'm good, brother. Happy to see you guys. Happy to do season 3.
Yeah.
Should be fun.
AJ?
Well, as everyone requested, a lot more of me being around.
Yeah.
And a lot more of me being verbally abused. You're welcome.
That's right.
These are all just me recollecting your own life choices.
No, I'm saying they requested me being verbally abused.
It's a win-win.
which I appreciate from the fandom. That's great.
Yeah.
Anyway, the point is I am done with going overseas for a while, so I'm
Mm.
going to be on the show a lot more often.
Yeah.
We like it. We like drunk AJ.
Who doesn't?
We like drunk combative AJ.
We like AJ, period.
I'm going to be a lot more drunk and a lot more combative.
Jesus, look at this fucking... Well, we don't have the video anymore.
Yeah, exactly.
But,
The
like,
video
look at this
died.
fucking Woodford
The
Reserve
video
bottle.
died watching him drink whiskey.
That's how much whiskey he drank.
See, I was going to drink it all at one go, and I got about halfway through, and I was like, you know what? Why have all the fun at once? So that entire bottle of Woodford Reserve is gone.
Yeah.
It was delicious,
Mhm.
and it went down very smooth.
We're not sponsored by them, but okay.
We're not, but we should be. I'm just
AJ
saying,
just giving away so much free
Shit,
airtime.
if anybody from Woodford Reserve would like to talk to us about a sponsorship deal,
Yeah.
here I am.
Here,
I'll drink
contact
a whole
AJ.
bottle of Woodford on every episode if you sponsor us.
Jesus, that is a fucking promise.
Hey, I did it tonight for free. That's
Yeah,
your
yeah.
one freebie there, Woodford.
All right, then. So make sure to follow us on Instagram, on Facebook. Check out our YouTube channel. We're available on all platforms. And if you appreciated the madness, please tell a friend about us. Please give us a 5-star review. If you didn't, this is Veteran State of Mind. Give us a 1-star review there.
With Garrett Jones, the cunt.
With Garrett Jones.
Hey, he's gonna be in town soon, right?
Yeah.
I don't know, because
Yeah.
he partied a little too hard in Vegas.
He did.
So I don't know if he's gonna have
I've-
the moolah.
He's not happy with me about Vegas.
Really?
Yeah, he's sore. I can talk about it next.
Save it for
episode, but
season
yeah.
2 or
yeah,
episode 2.
2. Yeah, he's sour at me.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oof. All right, we're gonna talk about that offline.
Should buy him a Celine Dion shirt.
Yeah. And speaking of which, offline, I actually remember this because I was going through my old cloud, and I have several recordings of AJ power railing girls in the next room.
I love it.
Yeah, I'm not gonna play that on air,
Erroneous.
but yeah, that's what's gonna happen now. Bye.